Welcome to Center Heist Productions. Please hit the likes and subscribe down below in your right hand corner. Muchly would appreciate that. And please, if you have friends and family, please share it with them and share the video as well. If you come across the channel, please subscribe and hit the like. You'd be doing the channel a great favor as we take great pride in being an integral Habs channel that does not run off Rumorville. Uh, we like to stick to the facts here. Anyway, let's get right to it. It is February 23rd, morning after the Habs going into the Sens on the 22nd. And great outcome for any Habs fan. 5-2 was your final. Now remember, though, there was a couple key players for the Sens missing. Brady Kachuk being one, and Pinto, a couple others too. However, we'll take it. All right, let's get down to the stats, then we'll talk more about the game. All right, first period, 3-2 for Montreal. And this was a good period. For the first 10 minutes, Montreal really took it to Ottawa. But you see how getting just a couple of errors, a penalty, and they're right back. We let them walk back in and tie this game up. Thankfully, we went right back ahead when we got our power play with Delaney go. Second period, it was 2-0 for the Habs, and third period, no scoring. And the Habs never looked back with a 5-2 final. Montembeault had a strong game. He got the win. Allmark got chased out of the net. Lonnie got the game winner. And here's the storyline. Brendan Gallagher had a goal and an assist. He had a phenomenal game. Sam Montembeault, 25 saves, and the Montreal Canadiens beat the Ottawa Senators 5-2 on Saturday night. Cole Caulfield, Patrick Laine, or Lana, however you want to pronounce it, Josh Anderson, and Yuri Slafkovsky also scored for the Canadiens. Nick Suzuki had 2 assists. Tim Stützle extended his point streak. He was pretty strong for the Sens last night. 9 games with the goal and an assist in Ottawa. Jake Sanderson had a goal. 3 stars. There was no doubt that Slafkovsky, as much as I can be on his case for the way he's played a lot of this season, had a wonderful game. This is the Slafkovsky. It's just, and he's got more in him. So I don't want if he watches it, to go to his head. But this is the Slafkovsky we want to see. But I know there's more. There's even more of the body work on the boards. But this is what you want to see: the effort level, the hitting, and in all elements of the game. He was in this game thoroughly, really into it. And that's how he has to play in order to have any success. So good job, Slav. Give you credit, but don't let it go to your head. So 1 goal, positive 1. Brendan Gallagher had a strong game as well. Solid all the way through. 1 goal, 1 assist, positive 2. He was a second star. Nick Suzuki had a solid game. No goals, 2 assists, plus 1. First period, giveaway in front of the net. Brendan Gallagher at 2:28 makes them pay dearly for it and just rifles it over Allmark. And then we get great work and great crashing and banging with Slafkovsky on Sanderson, which creates a hole when he was on the boards and into the front of the net, which allowed the puck to come right to Cole Caulfield with an open side, and he buries it, assisted by Arbor Jacka, who took a beautiful shot from the point. That shot from the point comes off, and you have Slav taking out Sanderson, the closest defenseman, and Cole Caulfield grabs the rebound and buries it. That's what you want to see. Great setup. But, of course, we get into penalty trouble, 13-20. This goal is not Jake Sanderson's at all. I don't know how they gave it to him. Yes, it was a beautiful shot from him. But if you watch the replay on that, Gaudette gets a tip in front of the net. That goal should have been to Gaudette. 13-20. They say Sanderson, but I say Gaudette. It should have been assisted by Sanderson and then Batherson. And they got Tim Stützle in Batherson, as the second assist on the power play. However, 54, Mike Matheson gets burned at the line, giving away the puck and gets blown by Tim Stutzel. You can't do that with these guys. They'll make you, Tim Stutzel will make you pay every time. He scores, ties this thing up. Thank goodness we get a power play, 16-13. Patrick Alani, assisted by Lane Hudson, who makes things happen, and Nick Suzuki on the power play. So good to see Hudson back to his form. Good play. They came out in this game very nicely. Second period starts, so we got the go ahead going into the second. 5:14. Josh Anderson gets a nice one, buries it, assisted by Brendan Gallagher and Dvorak. Great goal by and effort by Josh. That line had a strong game. 11:32. Yuri Slafkovsky, a giveaway. I believe that was by Batherson, and Nick Suzuki off the boards, passing it out that way, assisted by Struble. And Slafkovsky makes no mistake. He steps into that shot, puts it over Allmark. Beautiful goal. And this is what we want to see more of. No scoring in the third. Here's your final stats. Shots on goal, 27-25 for the Sens. Hits, 40-39. This was a physical game. I like this game. That's my style of game. Face-offs, so they killed us in the face-off department, 46-23. Power plays, 1 for 2 for the Habs, 1 for 3 for the Sens. Penalty minutes, 13-11. We got to watch that a little bit for the Habs. Giveaways, 12-12. Takeaways, 5 apiece. This was fairly close. Block shots, Sens, 17-11. That's usually our strong suit. Briefs, penalties, summary. Josh Anderson took that penalty where they scored at 12:33 in the first. Cole Reinhardt, 16:09, takes a 2-minute holding. And we scored on them on that one. And Lane in the second period takes 2 minutes for tripping at 19:25. Then we go into the third, 2 minutes for too many. Minute 2:13 of the third period, served by David Perron. 6:47. Craig and Slafkovsky, who had a nice altercation. Slav did fairly well. So they each had a 5-minute fighting. 9:44, Cole Reinhardt gets 2 minutes for roughing. 9:44, Kirby Docks. Those two were going at it all night. 2 minutes for roughing. Good to see emotion there. 19:04 to cross check from Alex Carrier. And that was your game. Great game. This is what we need to see more of from Slafkovsky. If Slafkovsky is ever going to want success in this league, this is what we need to see from him. And this is only the beginning, because I know Slav has even more than that to offer, but he was phenomenal last night. He was in the game all night long. And I can actually say, since I'm so hard on Montreal players, and I've been hard on him, I got to give him full credit last night. He was the best player out there last night. Although Galley was up there too. Anderson as well. Those three really stood out to me. Dvorak had a strong game, just went unnoticed. The fourth line was good, and second line probably had one of their better games, but they were the weakest line per usual. That second line is just, yes, they didn't make as many mistakes. That's good to see. First line was excellent, but no doubt line two's going to be our nemesis, because I think a lot of what it is the talent level. Demidov will fix that next season when he gets on that line, because we've got can't have Newhook on the second line. He's not a second line player, and that's the bottom dollar with that. Doc, average night at the office. I wouldn't say he was this line to me wasn't outstanding. They were okay, and that was the best for them, but that's still good compared to what we've seen, prior to the Four Nations break. And kudos to Canada for taking down the States and showing character after Mr. Donald Trump ran his mouth off, thinking that we're going to be the 51st state or whatever, and his little shenanigans being so insultive and calling Trudeau governor. You know what you can do, Trump. Do it with your little clan. Got no time for you. Look good on you. Nice to see the loss. Good heart and soul. Great game, though. Good, phenomenal heart and soul game, that final. So kudos to Canada for that. And Bennington was the star of that game. I mean, Nathan McKinnon definitely star of the tournament. No, no end ifs and buts, and good to see McDavid get the winner in that. But so positives. The trade world, we're hearing all the rumors. There's so many of them now. The latest is that there's more interest coming out of Washington. They seem to be in the front runners. We've heard Washington, Jersey, um, Edmonton, and those, and I think there's one more team. But anyway, it seems like that's in rumorland, and I don't like rumorland, and that's why I won't get into it. But it seems like that's where the biggest rumor is catching fire, that the Capitals, and that's the supposed story, that the Capitals are really interested in, um, they say, Evans. Of course, who wouldn't be? But anyway, I just like to see us sign Evans and Armia for that fourth line. Good to see Heineman back. He looked half decent. Fourth line was all right. It was solid. It was definitely better than the second line. He got hurt. Armia looked a little off his game, just a touch, but he still played hard. But you could tell, I think, maybe Four Nations, whatever. Defense to me last night, overall, I would say, they had a few errors, no doubt about it. You can't cough out. They're not going to be able to continue to cough out pucks in front of the net and make a few errors like they have. But I would have to say what I noticed the most was, um, it would have been Matheson had a couple rough points. Even Carrier, well, they were the pairing, I believe. Anyway, they had a couple rough points together. Although, I like seeing Matheson involved physically. He was really into that game. Good on him. Good on the team for the character they showed. This is how you win hockey games. We were fortunate, and I wanted to make a point because I put the pic there from an article of which was false, and it really burned my tush because it came from French media, and they got a history of doing this. And I'm so sick and tired of it. You know what? These guys should be able to be um, fined or whatever by and have to pay a portion when they put false stories out. And I think it was anyway. It was a French newscast because it came out in French, saying Jack, I said he was going to beat the crap out of Kachuk, and funny how that story comes out, and it's from a French newscast. You knew darn well that there was a lot of falsehoods, and which we end up finding out the interpretation was wrong. So really, it's time that somebody steps into that world, and whether it be, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Like, I just think the NHL almost needs to have some type of regulation set up with reporters, because this false crap that they bury. And I'm sorry, Montreal Canadiens are my team, but the amount of false stories that come out of that province with their media is ridiculous. And I think it was TVA Sports that put out that. I think I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm so damn tired. What is it with reporters that they can't stick to the truth? They want to boil and make a story and boil blood and tensions. And, yes, the true verse of what Jack I said, he wanted to be in his face, in Kachuk's face all night, pounding him. Kachuk never ended up playing, just getting him off his game. And yes, if a fight came, gladly. Didn't say he was going to beat the crap out of him. I knew that wording was not correct and the translation was off. But people got to watch out when they put these reports out that that's what Jack I said. And then, of course, that newscast, everybody puts it up on X, and it's garbage, falsehoods. That those type of reporters, they should actually be stripped from being able to report. There needs to be some guidelines, and guys that want to falsely report, I think that their credentials should be taken from them. I think the NHL should ban them. You want to stick to having some character in the game, and if there's going to be some reporting, it would bring in some integrity, And that's why reporters get a bad name from guys like that report garbage, falsehoods. So glad to see that that wasn't the case. I mean, I was looking forward to hoping that Kachuk would play to see those two. I didn't realize Brady was 6'4", and he's a big boy, and he should have been ours. Thank you, Mark Bergevin, if you know what I mean. One of the most elite. Those two Kachucks are the two of the most elite players in the league with that brand of hockey of grit and just going. That showed in the Four Nations how much of a weapon those guys were, and it made a difference when Matt couldn't play any the full game. So good on us, but boy, Mark Bergevin, what a bonehead move he made in that draft of not taking Brady. But yeah, I would have liked to seen the big boys, especially when Brady went after Jack Guy, when Jack Guy was giving it to Stutzel. And it was good to see them punishing. It was so funny last night to see, when we were punishing Stutzel with hitting. You got to do that with star players. Make them not comfortable all night. So Ottawa decides they're going to do the same to our guys that are elite players. Then Greg lays a beautiful hit into Slav, and Slav gets up. And the difference between a coward and somebody who will stand up for himself, like instead of Stutzel whining to the refs, wham, 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 you get Slav who gets up and takes care of business, didn't ask anybody to step in, and he puts on a pretty good performance in the fight department too. And that's how Slav's emotions have to be in the game. He can't be comfortable. He's got to be hitting. He's got to be creating havoc in front of the net. And he's got to be emotional, and he's got to be pissed off, and he's got to play. And I know he was talking about the terms of how Brady Kachuk plays, and that's a great comment that came from I forget who it is in Montreal, part of their staff. Oh, he's part anyway, big name there. Anyway, when he made that comment to Slav got it totally. But I'll tell you what, somebody else made the comment, and I believe was it Pierre McGuire. Anyway, on Tony Marinaro's show, I forget which one of the guys it was. Even better, even better. If it, no, I don't think it was. I don't think it was Pierre McGuire. I think it was somebody else that's on there regularly. Anyway, from that, I think, yeah, that's who it was. It was Craig Button that said it. Even better than that comment coming out of Montreal's management and training development group to Slav to play more. He has to play, should use Brady Kachuk as his example of how he has to play. I think Pierre Button, or Pierre Button, Craig Button made the comment even better. I think it'd be even better if he played like Matthew Kachuk, because he's got a higher end of talent. If he puts it together, he plays like last night and better because he's got more in him. He played that put him on the right track. But I know he can even bring it up a few levels. But that he's in the right direction. Good on you, Slav. Got to commend you. However, don't let it go to your head because you've had that tendency to let things get into your head, and that's half your problem. Keep the feet moving like you did last night. Keep your two hands on the stick, and you'll have a good game. Put the heart into it and be emotionally involved. That's how he has to play. He can't play with a big body like that and just stand around going, woohoo. Can't do it. It's not going to have any success. So that is a start to the roadmap of success for Slafkovsky if he follows it. Now, great game as a team effort by the Canadians. Good job, guys. Sam was solid. Uh, Good to see. He had a couple goals, though. Even though that breakaway was Stutzel, I didn't like the way Stutzel got around Montembeault because it wasn't a whole lot. He got around right to the outer edge, and just I didn't think Monty should have gave up that space. I think he could have had that one, to tell you the truth, in my opinion. I know it was a breakaway and everything, but I just think the direction when he hit it left, I think Monty should have been closer to the post. There should have been no space. That's where He allowed a little too much space. That was a stoppable goal. Uh, the Sanderson shot, tip in front of the net. That's usual. You got to clear it in front of the net. So that's on the defense. But good, solid game. Getting goals from every, pitch-ins from everybody. Gallagher, um, Caulfield, Slafkovsky. Um, Anderson? What could you say? It was a good, solid game. That's what we need to see more of. And positive for the Habs, but celebrate it now, Habs fans, because it's going to get tougher. And remember, Ottawa didn't have a full line. All of their top boys in there last night. Batherson had a horrible game, and he never has that bad of a game against the Habs, but he did. So go Habs, go! Was glad to see it. Who are we up against next? Because there's only 20 some odd games. I think there's 26 games left. If I've got that correct, I'll give you that in a second here. Because we'll be back to do the review of the next game, which has the Hurricanes in Montreal on the 25th. Yikes. That's Tuesday. I know they got beat by the Leafs, but they're a tough team. They're a well-organized club. And boy, that Slavin was something else for the Americans. The Four Nations, yeah. That's going to be a rough game. So the games aren't, they say, our schedule's not that bad. Now, I kind of question that. I don't, maybe more home games. But anyway, go Habs, go. Good job. And let's hope when we play the Hurricanes, as long as the team plays respectable and hard, that's all we expect from them. Thank you for watching. You've seen it here at Center Ice where the puck drops first. And have a great week up until Tuesday. We'll catch you in the Tuesday. We'll probably be between Tuesday and Wednesday when I do the review. We'll catch you in that review, and let's see. Let's hope the Habs can keep the momentum of snapping the way they were playing before the Four Nations. They looked much better. But again, remember Ottawa did have some big names. Brady not being there. Pinto not being there. But we'll take it. The boys played really solid as a team. Go Habs, go. Catch you in the next one.